All right, guys. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy, Mr.Goodbread. Y'all know what we do over here. We don't cater to no gang group, community, you know what I mean? And none of that. None of that over here. We cater to common sense and we cater to the truth. You know what I mean? I got some spare time on my hands, so I thought I'd bring y'all guys a special. Y'all saw the thumbnail. So you know the thumbnail. And it's no bash, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring awareness so we could bring a lot more of our sisters about this delusion that they be in, you know what I mean, all day. So pretty much what I want to go on and do, guys, I want to play a video. I was, you know what I mean, I'm chilling, got a little day off, so I'm just scrolling through social media. Like I tell you guys, get to some real truthful information. Get to information. So I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube all day, every day. If y'all think I be on Facebook, you know what I mean? Facebook, man, listen, Facebook, those posts be already done that morning and lined up, scheduled to go out, you know what I mean? But I don't even be thinking about Facebook half the time unless I'm commenting back, you know what I mean? Truthfully, guys, for the most part of my day, I'm on YouTube and I'm just scrolling through, gaining education, just gaining knowledge, you know what I mean? And I don't agree with a lot of the stuff I see and hear on YouTube, you know what I mean? I don't agree with a lot of the stuff anybody tell me because a lot of people is in delusion, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I always can learn something from what that person have to tell me. I always learn something. So that's why I never really block myself away from, I don't play with this self-love joint, this self-love. I mean, that got a very thin line in because people misconstrue screw that. You know what I mean? Self-love is accepting the truth about yourself. So guys, today, right, without further ado, we're gonna react to a video live. I'm gonna live. We're gonna react to a video live. So those of you that's watching from YouTube, you guys could comment. You know what I mean? You guys could comment in the comment section, and you know what I mean. You could follow along. You know what I mean? Do guys hit the like button, subscribe. Those of you that's watching from Facebook, hit the link. The link should be posted above the video that you're watching to join us from the YouTube. So that way you could just show some support. You know what I mean? Because I gotta tell you guys, I get on your nerves all day, all night, but you gotta see that, you gotta understand the value in what I'm saying. You gotta understand and you gotta see the the truth and the quality in what I'm saying and how, all right, you could feel how you feel, but it's still valuable to the young generation, to the guys coming up. Because if you ask the guys coming up, they can relate. They can relate to the T to what everything I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's different. We live in a whole new day and age. You know what I mean? Social media has everybody hooked, guys. You understand that? Social media, that's Zaddy's favorite tool. But I'm not gonna go and start spoiling the video today. But I think this was a very good video. And like y'all see in the thumbnail, right? We got a lot of our sisters. You know what I mean? They're beautiful. You know what I mean? They are very beautiful. You know what I mean? And like I said, beauty is preferenceable. You know what I mean? Beauty is very preferenceable because what's beauty to me might not be what's beauty to you. But at the end of the day, there's a standard. Beauty is also, there's a standard to beauty. You know what I mean? When you have 71% of women running around here thinking there's something that they not, then that's a mental disease. That's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem. And then when you have 80% of guys telling those women that there's something that they're not, that's also a mental problem. You know what I mean? That's a mental problem because those women don't want to mess with those guys that's telling them they are good. You know what I mean? Those women want to force that false sense of security on the guys with some sense, the guys with some common sense. And that's not cool. You know what I mean? And that's where the clash is coming in. That's where the clash is coming in. But without further ado, guys, let's get into this video. You know what I mean? Guys, share this video. Share the video. Share the video.
And you don't understand. Well, I'm a 10. I go to school, I go to work, and I have a great personality, and I'm...
Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Nowadays, it seems that all women regardless of their own attractiveness, is walking around thinking they're a perfect 10 out of 10. All forms of modesty and simple common sense have gone straight out the window, and it seems all women are walking around with a chip on their shoulder thinking they're God's gift to mankind. Well, guys, in this video, I'm going to be outlining the 8 reasons, yeah, you heard that right, 8 reasons, for why the rate of attractiveness inflation is going through the roof, or in simple words, why every woman now thinks in 2021 she's a perfect 10. Number 1, and this should be by far the biggest reason, simping. Now, the thing with simping is that a lot of people mistake for it only going in one direction. They think it only goes from the bottom up. It's the low value men at the bottom who are bombarding the women at the top with endless amounts of free attention, validation, and God forbid, money by paying for things like OnlyFans. But in reality, all women across the board of attractiveness have an endless selection of simps to provide these things. Because what ends up happening is the simps start by throwing attention, money, and validation at the most attractive women, but when they don't get anything in return, they have no choice but to move down to the next level, and then the next level, and the next, and the next. So it's just this endless cycle of simps undercutting other simps. And whoever undercuts and simps the most supposedly wins in the end. Yeah, that last bit's important, supposedly. Because what happens next is all the low value women at the bottom who now have a fresh crate of simps to choose from have this backwards rationalization. Well, this is interesting. I'm getting all of this validation. Therefore, this must mean I am special. Therefore, I must also be highly attractive. So the final piece of the puzzle, and also why simping never works, is all of the women at the bottom who have been senselessly simped over have now had their egos inflated beyond return. And all that's been left is the guys at the bottom have now lost a ridiculous amount of their own time, energy, and resources, and all for nothing. Now, the last point I'm going to make on this before I move on to the next reason is this is exactly why I have zero sympathy for simps. Because the only impact that simps have on the dating market is inflating women's egos, which in turn messes up the system and spoils it for anyone else who actually had a chance. Anyway, now moving on to point number 2 for why women...
All right, guys, so I'm going to come in right there. That's what happened. That's the simp culture, guys. That's the simp vibe. That's the simp culture that I be talking about every day. You know what I mean? The hell of a sons, y'all gotta stop y'all bull. Cause at the end, you saw the way that analyzation went. That was crazy right there. You saw it. Like it's pretty much it's like beating a dead horse. You could simp all you want. You could undercut the next simp all you want, and you could lower the cost of yourself and your value all you want. In the end, all you do is get no return on the end. That's why you feel the way you feel at the end of the day. You start to feel how you feel. You feel worthless. You know what I mean? Then some of us go outside and take it out on our other brothers. You know what I mean? This is why it's important, guys, to always become the best version of yourself. You have to get to some knowledge. You gotta shake that hell of a sunness. You gotta shake them lies and that fairy tale that they done told you in that gyno land. You know, gyno land, they good for that. They good to, and they don't want to see you get out of that. They want to keep that trans on you. You know what I mean? You gotta get that gyno trans off you. Shake it off you, guys. Shake it off you. It's not okay to pay for love. You do not have to pay for love. You know what I mean? Especially when you simp the way you simp. You saw it, guys. You saw how he broke it down. All right, let's let him break down number 2. I really don't gotta say much on this one.
overestimate their worth. Women equating their hookup options to their actual value. Now, because of the nature of the current dating market, just about every average woman, and in fact even some below average women, have access to regular intimacy and hookups from the guys at the top. Chat is shared between everyone. Now, what this means is the women in the middle end up thinking this. Well, I can hook up easily with Chad. However, Chad doesn't want to commit. Therefore, all I need to do is just find one that will commit. So back to the dating market, all the average women end up wasting time chasing and trying to pin down the Chads. and they string along and friend zone all of the guys they're actually on the same level with, the ones who would have given.
You get that, guys? So that means that the one you guys that's breaking your neck to play this gyno land story, to play this fairy tale story out in the gyno land, that's you guys. That's you guys right here. I mean, this is you. You guys get friend zoned. You get friend zoned because the women, the ones that are guaranteed, and like I tell you guys, they guarantee value. You know what I mean? They chasing these guys, the guys that raise their value, the guys that I tell you every day, become the best version of yourself. Become the best version of yourself. It's not just me that's the best version of myself. There's a lot of guys. 20% of guys is the best version of themselves. You know what I mean? And that's who get all the chase. That's who get all the chase. And they'll drag y'all along for y'all little resources and play and live out the fantasy game with y'all. You know what I mean? That Zaddy sells everybody. You know what I mean? To keep us spending in his world. But you know what I mean? You want to be them. If you guys not paying attention, you want to be them.
An equal relationship. But instead, the women's attention is all focused on the top 10 to 15% of guys who they are able to hook up with, but not willing to give their commitment.
Get that?
Women, just because you can hook up with someone doesn't mean you're on their level, and certainly doesn't mean you can get commitment from them either. Moving on to point number 3, acceptance of unattractiveness. And this does not apply to men. It's almost exclusively for women. And this is mostly the result of feminism. Now, this idea in the last 10 years has pretty much stepped in and said all women, irrespective of their own attractiveness, are all deserving of a perfect 10. This belief system has tried to force down society's throat that all women of all shapes and sizes are all attractive in their own unique way. It is seen as grossly
And I told you guys that. You guys think I'll be capping. And it's not, those are your opinion. It's a fact, and it's a biological fact. A female born with everything they need to attract us with. You feel me? A female born with booty, a female born with I mean, it's not developed yet, but they're born with it so that when they get developed, they can attract us. We ain't born with it because for some reason in their gyno land, our tool ain't got no value. Our tool ain't more valuable than their tools that they're naturally born with. And we both naturally born with tools. Are you guys getting it now? And this is not a bash. I'm not bashing women. If you are a woman and you're watching this and you are aware, now you're becoming aware of like, oh, okay, now you could really, really clip up now and understand how Zaddy using you. You can understand how Zaddy using you and just don't let Zaddy use you. Don't let Zaddy use you. Get to a brother that got some sense that ain't letting Zaddy use him, and then y'all you straight. You don't gotta sit there and feel no way. Stop deflecting truth. You know what I mean? The truth ain't me lying to Miss Goodbread ain't make her the female that she is today. Vice versa. Her lying to me wouldn't have made me the dude I am today. You know what I mean? Let's finish this. Let's get it. Let's get interesting.
appropriate to highlight the flaws in a woman's beauty, even if said flaws pose a huge risk to their physical health and can greatly reduce their life expectancy. Therefore, they are instead celebrated. And I've talked about this in my previous videos. I'll say again, try typing the words plus size into Google. There will not be one man in sight. In fact, I could bet money that you'd be scrolling for longer than the length of this video in order to just find one single man. Moving on to point number 4, the media promoting delusion. Now, before...
All right, guys. Now, this one is an important one. This one is the one that I attack every single day. Every day I attack this one on social media because this is how Zaddy put his hand in on it. This is how Zaddy controls it. Who is the media? Who controls the media? Zaddy controls the media, but he don't control the media directly. No. He have our little assholes like the Charlemagnes, and he have the people we like. You know what I mean? The people we like that have not done nothing to really help and push the needle in our community in a long time, in a very long time. But we like these folks, you know what I mean? So Zaddy uses those people, you know what I mean, to brainwash us, to get us to get us to go with Zaddy's message, because we think, oh, it ain't that message ain't come from Zaddy because Charlemagne black. He black like me. You know what I mean? Or the other ones, Oprah. She black like me. That girl, Oprah, good. She black like me. She black like us, sis. But whole time that's Zaddy's puppet. You know what I mean? And Zaddy used them to spin the narrative in the media, guys. That's how that works. So let's get to that.
For longer than the length of this video in order to just find one single man. Moving on to point number 4, the media promoting delusion. Now, before I cover this point, because I'm about halfway through the video, now is a good time to press the like button and leave any thoughts you have in the comments below, as it helps the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, carrying on with the video. Media promoting delusion. Now, about 5 years ago, there was this film that came out called 50 Shades of Grey. And in fact, the book that it was based on was one of the highest grossing of the decade. And if you've not heard of this film or the book before, it's basically about this billionaire Chad who goes for and ends up in a relationship with some fairly average woman. A similar storyline happens in other movies and TV shows, such as the highly acclaimed Sex and the City. This series, too, showed women, despite being in their 30s and 40s, still being able to pin down and get commitment from Chads. So the point I'm trying to make here is that the media is portraying the idea that any woman, irrespective of what she brings to the table, can get a relationship from a Chad, no matter how old or average. Now moving on to point number 5, ego.
Guys, y'all, if y'all interested and if y'all understand what he talking about, y'all understand what he talking about? You know what I mean? Y'all understand what he talking about? Let's get back to this, man. Share the video, guys. Share the video. Share the video in them groups.
Now, I didn't know just how big of a reason this was until I came across this scientific study titled Resisting Connection Following Social Exclusion. Now, this study attempted to see how a woman would react when first being approached by an attractive man and then afterwards being approached by a less attractive man. The results were as followed. When the attractive man accepted the woman was also very likely to accept the less attractive man. In fact, he was accepted an average of 80%. Now, this isn't surprising, because after she gets accepted by the attractive man, she's probably feeling quite good about herself, and she's got nothing to lose by accepting the less attractive man, so she also gives him a pass. However, for the second part of the study, when the woman gets first rejected by the attractive man, they found she was then much less likely to accept the less attractive man's advances. In fact, his acceptance rate dropped from 80% to a staggering 24%. That's nearly a 4 times drop. And the reason for this is because after the first rejection, she probably felt violated and had taken a huge blow to her self-esteem. So to recover and attempt to regain some of her self-worth, she lashes out on the less attractive guy by rejecting him. Now, I found this study very interesting because it shares such close parallels to the current dynamics of the dating market. Because think about online dating, and for those who don't know how the Tinder algorithm works, the most popular profiles are shown first. So these are shown at the top of the card stack, and are the first profiles a woman will see after logging on. Meanwhile, the less attractive profiles are shown last. Therefore, if an average or below average woman gets mostly negative responses from the popular profiles, the attractive ones, then the study shows the woman getting butthurt from this will result in her lashing out on the lower ranked profiles. And she will do this in order to rebuild some of her self-respect. Point number 6, a woman and her blue-pilled friend.
All right, guys, and that's why the attack on me be so real, because I go against that delusion. Like, I go against that delusion because I know I seen it with my own eyes. I seen a female go from that mindset to a traditional mindset. Seen it with my own eyes. You know what I mean? And she didn't have no strong dad in her life. So, you know what I mean? It's real hard, but it's that ego, you know what I mean? It's that ego and that pride. And that Satan ain't like, I mean, God ain't like that. God don't like that. God don't like, I mean, everybody screaming this God the good stuff. He don't like the egotistical and the prideful. You know what I mean? He don't like it. You know what I mean? So that's one trait you got to get rid of. You got to get rid of that ego. You got to control that ego. You know what I mean? I got an ego. Everybody got an ego. But you got to know how to control that ego. You know what I mean? You got to know how to suppress that ego. You know what I mean? Absolutely, guys. All right, let's get it in. I see he's about to go into, now he's about to go into the problem with social media and this fake false sisterhood on social media, because on social media is the only time you'll see women being friendly to other women. In real life, you ask a female, she'll tell you, I ain't got no female friends. You ever thought of that, guys? You ever wondered why is that? Why you? It's because they know that they responsible for hiding this secret together. They both responsible are hiding this secret together. You know what I mean? So that's why they feel like I don't want no dealing with that next woman. You know what I mean? But on social media, they buddy. You know what I mean? They buddy. It's like it's like y'all know boosting another female ego is destructive, so they do it on purpose. It's like it's sad. It's sad behavior.
Inflating her ego. Now, the two screenshots showed on either side of the screen are typical of the comments a woman will expect to see on her Instagram profile. So, of course, we have a couple simps giving her free validation, and I have checked their profiles, and they are actually guys. But what's arguably more concerning is her and all of her female friends blowing smoke up one another. In my experience, I see these types of comments vastly outnumbering the ones sent from simps. Here's where you'll see the comments like, my queen, you're gorgeous, stunner, you go girl. And the dumbest part about all of this isn't the comments themselves. Rather, it's the people that are sending and receiving them. Women will believe anything their friends tell them these days. So if 20 of a girl's female friends are sending these copy and paste comments on every post she uploads, even if the girl herself is average to below average in looks, she's still going to walk away patting herself on the back, thinking she's a lot more attractive than she actually is. Thinking she's a perfect 10. Point number 7, entitlement. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a Darius M video, who's actually one of my favourite channels. And I remember him saying there are a lot more overweight women than men. And after that video, I looked it up, and it's true. This is data from the NHS website in the UK, my country. And for 16 to 24-year-olds, there are 2 times more obese women than men, 20% versus 10%. And it's a similar pattern for the 25 to 34-year-old age range. And I remember Darius saying the main reason for this is because women don't get in shape because they have no need to. The truth is, men know that if they're obese, no woman is going to want to be with them. But most women know, especially those who are overweight, that men will still be attracted to them even if they are packing extra pounds. And they will be able to tell you that from experience. Now, if this reason is true, then it shows they have a sense of entitlement. It shows they're entitled to somebody more attractive than they are, despite bringing far less to the table and putting in little to no effort.
And guys, I repeat that go back to what I tell you all the time. It's the rule. It's the secret rule. Like, you know what I mean? It's similar to how Zaddy value. It's the way Zaddy value system was. Zaddy didn't value us as anything other than his property. You know what I mean? He valued the woman though. Zaddy valued the woman. So women always had a sense of entitlement. They always had a sense of, I'm better than the black man. Like I won't say I'm better than the white man, Zaddy, but I'm better than my black man. They always had that sense of entitlement towards us since way back when. Like it's way back when. So it's not a knot on that. You know what I mean? And then some of us in our own right compounded on the destruction of the image of the black brother, you know what I mean, doing dumb stuff themselves, you know what I mean, or thoughtless stuff themselves. So it's not always You know what I mean? The woman, as always, you know what I mean? It's always never the always anyone. This is why it's important to stop chasing and stop simping, guys, and become the best version of yourself and just get on your purpose. Some of you guys might have to just leave women alone altogether to get right, to get your bearings set, you know what I mean? And that's okay too. You know what I mean? Shit, I went monk mode. You know what I mean? But let's get back to the video, man.
Fact, I've even seen this in my own personal experiences. I've literally heard overweight women say that they will never date an overweight man. That is entitlement at its simplest form. Finally, moving on to point number 8, coping. What I've noticed is nearly every woman, if you ask them the top 3 things that make them attractive, it will almost undoubtedly be a completely different list from another woman's. Just like the woman from the clip at the beginning. Her 3 reasons for why she is a perfect 10 was because she goes to school, goes to work, and has a good personality. But based on how pretentious she was being, I very much doubt there's much truth to this last one. This woman, if she believes that these 3 things alone make her a perfect 10, is almost certainly coping. Because here are the actual 3 things that men care about most. The holy trinity of what actually makes a perfect 10. First of all, hot. This means not overweight. 2, young, or in other words, under 30. And 3, undamaged. This means not promiscuous and also no kids. This is what men actually want. And the funny thing is, what I've noticed is when women are young, when they list reasons of what makes them attractive, they're likely to say things such as, I'm pretty, fit, young, therefore this makes me an 8. Meanwhile, when you ask older women, or even worse, the exact same women but just 10 to 15 years older, they're likely to give you a different list of the things that make them attractive, such as I have a career, I have 2 gorgeous kids, and am financially stable. Therefore, I'm also an 8. This is also coping. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, these days, nearly every woman has their own list of cope reasons for why they're more attractive than everyone else. And they will change it where they see fit and based on their own strengths. But the truth is, men see very little value outside of the holy trinity of female attractiveness. All lists that deviate from these 3 things are coping. Anyway, guys, that's it for my 8 reasons for why most women massively.
Now, I think that was a wonderful, wonderful put together, thought out piece of work right there. All facts right there, because you see the data in there that he used, and I like how he analyzed that right there, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Those of y'all going over to the channel, subscribe. It's all entertainment. It's educational. It's infotainment. You know what I mean? You get the information and you get the education. It's not designed for us to have to agree. It's not about us agreeing. It's not about me being right. It's not about you being right or wrong. It's not about me being right or wrong. It's all about learning something that you ain't know. All right? It's about learning something that you ain't know. It's about absorbing some truths that you might not have thought about because it's not normally heard. It's not spoken about. People do not go around talking about this. For some weird reason, we have this keep as a secret society. You know what I mean? But that's all it is. It's infotainment. And especially if you rock with me on a personal level, if you know me like we family, ain't no goddamn reason why you ain't supporting, because you don't see the value. Even if it's not for you guys, like I tell you guys, when I send you the links, you could turn your phone volume all the way down and just open it and let it play straight through, come back to it, and close it out. You know what I mean? That's how you could support me. You know what I mean? It ain't even got to be for you. Sometimes it's not for you. You know what I mean? And that's how you support me, though. You know what I mean? Support real stuff. Support real builders. Support the dudes that's putting in the work. You know what I mean? Stop supporting the dudes that make you feel good all the time. Because those dudes is draining your money. Those dudes is taking your money. You know what I mean? It's very sad that I ask people, I'm asking y'all for y'all support, and it's free. You know what I mean? All I ask y'all for is 8 to 10 minutes of your time a day, right? And you know what people ask me for, how to support their stuff? People be like, yo, guys, my thing is here, you can support this, it's $25. Here, you can support this, it's $30. Yo, this is $50, my G. You support the, you know what I mean? And, you know, I support. So I support everything. So I cough it out. You know what I mean? Because that goes with my program. I'm for the hood. I'm about doing stuff for people that's trying. You know what I mean? But I see people get their little funky attitude when they don't get it. When they don't get the lane that you create. You know what I mean? All I did, guys, was create a lane that ain't nobody think of. Don't make me a bad person. Don't make me a woman hater. I just created a lane that's so unique. You know what I mean? It don't make me a weirdo, guys. All right? Those of you that's on Facebook watching now, do know that. You know what I mean? It's just a new lane that you ain't never think of, and nobody really thought of it. But it existed. You know what I mean? I just brought it to our world now because it's really for us. I don't need, it's no more secrets. Like, let's stop with this secret. Let's stop with this secret society crap. And let's get with the program, guys. Like I said, it's not about you agreeing with what I got to say. It's about you absorbing new information, new ideas, new concepts. You know what I mean? It's thought-provoking entertainment. You can sit here and give yourself a whole hour worth of garbage on TV, a whole hour worth of garbage. No value, that have no value to you, no value to your life. You know what I mean? And you're paid to watch that. Support the real for free. That's all you gotta do, guys. All you gotta do is press play. Even if it's not for you, you ain't gotta watch it. Just press play, put your phone down, come back, close it out. Hit the like button. You know what I mean? That's how you support the truth. You know what I mean? When I get to the goal, I was coming back to the hood. You know what I mean? It might not be for you now, but as soon as you see the stuff coming through to the hood and it's benefiting your child, then you're gonna be like, oh, I get it. Oh yeah, you preach, king. All right, man, go on with that. All right, y'all, but it's real, y'all. I appreciate those of you that do support. Y'all already know. Keep doing your damn thing. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And thanks for understanding.